Live actually. All right, we're live na. I'm just gonna edit yung ano so that makita nila about you and all. Chooch. Asa na yung live natin dito? Live sa page. Edit ko lang. We're here we'll be starting our Facebook Live in a couple of minutes with Facebook ad strategist Canita. Hope to see you all. Join us later, and if you have any questions, just have them ready so that Julian can answer them, can answer your burning questions for um, when it comes to Facebook Live. So thank you very much, and have an awesome evening, everyone. We'll be opening up our live in a couple of minutes. We hope to see you. We hope that you join us in our Facebook Live. Okay, hold on for a few moments while it's up. Okay. Our live and oh, they can hear us. Hold on. Let me just put this on silent for a bit. Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another show. And I'm your host, Bo Maldes. We're so glad to have you here in another episode of the SMA show. And we have a very, very special guest for everyone. Okay, he is one of the best FB ad strategists and experts here in the Philippines, and he has been doing this for quite a while. And I know that you can learn a lot from this amazing individual. Okay, hold on for a bit. So, uh, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome our FB ads strategist and expert and SMA mentor, Julian Canita. Okay, so he's going to come up, and I'm so glad that he is here, part of this amazing episode with us now. So, hi, Julian.
Hey,
Julian or
bro.
Julian? Sorry.
Hey, what's up? You can call me Julian. It's okay. It's fine. You
Hey,
can call me Julian. Hi, Bo. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Julian. Nice. All right. So we're so glad that you're here, Julian, and we're so glad that everybody is here as well. Okay. And I hope everybody's feeling okay. I know na right now we're still under community quarantine, varying levels. I think may mga tao na nasa enhanced community quarantine. Meron mga tao na nasa extreme enhanced community quarantine. Hindi ko alam kung anong levels nila, pero how are you doing, Julian? Where are you right now?
I'm in Taguig, Taguig City, not in BGC, but Taguig. Generally, we're doing okay. We're doing fine. Yeah, praying for the rest of the nation to be fine as well.
Of course. Okay. So, Julian, we're so glad that you're here, and we're so glad that of this episode. A lot of people might not know you who aren't in the freelancing space, pero dito sa freelancing community, when they hear the name Julian Canita, the first thing that comes to their mind is FB ads. So we want to get to know who you are, kasi some of us might not know who you are aside from what you do as an FB ads strategist and expert. So can you tell us about yourself and how you got to where you are as an FB ads expert?
Yeah. Thank you. Again, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Bo. Thank you for having me here. My name is Julian. You can call me Julian. And I'm a Facebook ads expert, Facebook ads strategist and coach. But of course, as you mentioned, I wasn't always like that. I used to be a hotel reservation supervisor in a local hotel. That was my job before. Um, Back in 2015, I resigned from my job and moved to Penang, Malaysia, to be with my wife. So we got married. I moved there to be with her. She was an expat in Malaysia at the time. And the thinking was, or at least the plan was, for me to go to Penang, go to Malaysia, look for a hotel job. Kasi my belief was I graduated from hotel. I worked at a hotel. Then therefore, the rest of my life, I'd be working at a hotel. That was my belief. No, ito
Mm-hmm.
lang skill set ko. Ganyan. But long story short, I was not
Mm.
able to get a job. I was not
Okay.
able to get a job in Malaysia. And I started a business. I had a food listings website for the island. And again, long story short, the business did not fly after 3 months. We tried working on the website, and I learned digital marketing to be able to promote that website. So after 3 months, it didn't fly. We spent a lot on ad spend for Google ads and Facebook ads. It didn't fly. Then we stopped it.
Mm.
But I realized then that, hey, the business itself didn't fly, but I learned these skills. Maybe it would work on someone else's business. So I reached out to a couple of friends whom I knew were starting their own
Mm.
business, or who already had businesses that maybe I could help. So I started offering Facebook ads to friends.
Mm.
Actually, during that time, it was more Google ads. I was offering it to my friends, and then I got confidence to actually try out for online freelancing platforms, and then I was able to get an agency client.
Mm.
And I was very happy kasi they were offering me a rate that was much higher than what I was getting in the hotel. So I worked with that particular client for 2 years. Um, and in this particular client, they were an agency, so they just really got all the clients and they threw it to me for me to be able to do the campaigns myself. And I think that that allowed me to really learn not only Facebook ads as a skill but also marketing. Kasi different industries, different niche, they would just throw it at me. So I would really have to learn, okay, how do I turn this prospect into a lead and then this lead into a customer using Facebook ads. So I really learned from the fundamentals until the skills. And then in 2017, that was the time when we came back to the Philippines. And then I started, I actually met people like Nix and Melissa, and then they were the ones sharing, hey, if you want to grow your freelancing business, try writing content, try putting yourself out there. That was the first time I actually tried doing that. And I was surprised to get feedback. Number one, from clients who were interested in hiring me to do Facebook ads for them. And a larger part of the community, the freelancing community, wanting to learn this as a skill. So towards the end of 2017, I actually got invited by Manila workshops to do their Facebook ads workshops as well. So I started teaching it, and then from there, I decided to start teaching it independently as well. So I came out with the independent workshops until it evolved into a coaching program, and then basically all these opportunities where we could help teach Facebook ads, like with SMA, opened up. So we took that opportunity. And fast forward to today, where I'm doing it as a service. No? So we have our own Facebook ads agency, and at the same time, we are a coach wherein we teach this in live workshops, private trainings, online courses such as SMA. So that's me. That's how I became a Facebook ads strategist and coach. And in addition to that, I do a whole lot of things as well. I'm a podcaster. I am a transformational life coach. I'm a personal branding consultant. And on top of everything, I am a father of two in a bit. One now, two in a couple of months.
Whoa.
That's me. Thank
Wow.
you.
Okay. That's really amazing. And I'm guessing you've been doing it a couple of years. Correct me if I'm wrong. Starting 2015, 2016, right?
15, yeah. 2015.
2015. And you're doing it until now. So more than 4 or 5 years now doing work in FB
Yep.
ads. All right. To all our viewers, hi
Yes.
Dominic, hi Joe, hi Mommy Josie. I hope you guys have a lot of
Hi,
questions here
guys.
for our amazing guest, Julian. He'll be here to answer your
Yes.
burning questions when it comes to FB ads. Okay. Julian, to be honest with you, I'm a copywriter. So the only thing that I know about FB ads is like it has like words on it, maybe a picture or video, and then sort of a link or something. So um,
Yep.
for people who are starting out, can you give us like in a nutshell what you do as an FB ad strategist,
Okay.
an expert?
Um, yeah, for those that don't know what Facebook ads are, basically when you scroll your news feed, you'll see some posts na sponsored. So those are Facebook ads. What we do is to create these ads for our clients, and not just the ads themselves, but we create a whole strategy around using the ads to bring them leads, sales, customers, basically whatever the client needs. No, so for those that don't know how it works, basically we pay Facebook to put our ads in front of specific people, and how we target those people. That's actually in how you interact with Facebook. Now, for example, us as individuals, you would have your own interests. For example, I like basketball or I like dogs, and these interests, they manifest themselves as behavior that we exhibit on Facebook. For example, if I like basketball, I would watch basketball videos on Facebook. Or if I like dogs, I would like pictures of dogs that my friends post. And these are small data points that Facebook gets from us. And because it wants to keep us on the platform, it will continue to feed us content that we engage with. That's why at one point, at one point in your life as a Facebook user, you've probably said na parang, bakit yung newsfeed ko puro na lang baby, or newsfeed ko puro na lang mga kinakasal, or newsfeed ko puro na lang bad news.
Yes,
That's probably
yes.
because Facebook, you have been interacting with that kind of content. So Facebook assumes that those are the type of content that you like. So it will continue to feed you more and more of that content. So for me, for example, I'm not really political in nature. So I don't tend to comment on politics or current events. So even if it's election time, I actually don't get posts or ads about elections, because Facebook saw that I don't engage with that type of content. So that's basic. So we use that system of Facebook being able to target users, and we put our clients' offers in front of our target audience. So in a very nutshell, in a very small nutshell, that's what Facebook ads are, and that's what we do.
Okay, that's very good. Basically, you're using Facebook as a platform to show your ads, and you have to create
Yes.
strategies on that. So hindi ka lang magano, hindi ka lang
Yes.
gagawa ng mga word ads. You also have to configure it. So there's a very technical aspect on it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yep.
for you working as somebody in this kind of freelancing field, ano yung tatlong bagay that makes you effective or makes you different from all the other Facebook ads people out there? Yun. Kasi as someone working in the freelancing industry since 2017, we I have heard of you. I think 2017, 2018 pa, ganon. So, what makes you different from them, and what makes you effective from them?
Okay. I guess to be fair, this is what I've heard. I guess to answer the question fairly, I'll share what I've heard from other people. No? Number one, and I think this is one of my favorite compliments, is that I'm authentic. No? Whatever that means. I'm authentic. Um, Whatever you see now, or whatever you see when I do workshops or when I post content, that's me. No? The goofy, whatever. And for me, I think na I attract that kind of people na medyo chill. Almost most people na medyo chill kasi and that type of person. And that's how I approach the campaigns as well. I think one of the feedbacks I also got was sometimes kasi, like as you mentioned, Facebook ads can get a bit too technical with the setup and with everything.
That is true.
In our approach, even though I would say that I'm in the expert level naman, we actually keep it simple. No? We actually keep it simple, and that allows us to really focus on the messaging, focus on the strategy rather than the bells and whistles. Not to say that that's not important, it's just not our main point of focus. And maybe that's also because the people we help are small to medium entrepreneurs rather than the bigger brands. Siguro those who work better for the bigger brands with bigger
Mm.
budgets. But for us, we keep it simple. And one of my favorite feedbacks when I do give trainings and workshops is that when people say na I was able to explain it simply. No? So I think that's one thing
Mm.
different about me. And then, finally, I think one thing that's different about me, again based on feedback, is when we work with our clients. When we work with our clients, as much as possible, we really try to get to the vision of the client. No? It puts more meaning into the work we do. I'll give you an example. We're doing the campaign for a freelancing coach here in the Philippines, and after a year with the program, we did we the whole team had a meeting. Then we talked about how the the program was and how we've helped people, and that was when I made a shift with the way I was thinking about what we were doing. Kasi when we would do reporting, okay, this is the number of conversions after a launch, ito yung number of sales that we got, ganyan, ganyan, ad spend, return on ad spend. We were reporting the numbers and the sales. Only to realize after 1 year, when we would look into what was the effect of the program for people, that more than us bringing sales to the coach, we were actually changing lives. We were one sale, na yung makikita mo sa ads manager na one conversion, that's actually one life or one family's life being changed. And nung na-share yon nung nung coach nito, okay, parang it made the work much more meaningful. No, so to be honest, I had a prospect before na kasi part of the discovery call questions usually is why are you doing what you do? No, what does this mean for you? It's really for us to be able to align with the people we're working with. Um, and we like working with those na may big visions talaga wanting to help people, ganyan. We've had discovery calls, to be honest, na ang sinabi nila na wala naman, yayaman lang ako. It won't make a big difference, parang ganon. And I could really feel the disconnect there. So hindi naman, we didn't end up taking them on as a client. But those na merong yan, mga vision and we're able to align with that, mas ginaganahan din kami mag-work. No? So I'm not saying no, others are not like that. It's just based on feedback. That's something we do differently now.
Okay, I think you're right in that kasi I've been looking at your posts every now and then. You're actually part of my feed. Whenever a post of Julian Canita comes up, for me it shows like what you said, a level of authenticity. Kasi nga ano you show yourself as someone relatable. Ganon. Like, hindi kayo nga, ako when I write big words because that was the kind of training that I had. But when you write, it's something that people can understand and relate to. Yung person at the lay, and then parang nakaka-empathize ka with them. And I see that when you create something, I think I have some people who actually have taken your. I know some people who have taken your courses. Na yung pag mag-explain daw si Julian, it's easy to understand. Ganon. So, I mean, for someone who is really not good in understanding this, kasi nga, like you and I understand, Facebook ads is a really technical thing to do. You have your targeting, you have to create a custom audience, you have to take care of your ad account, your pixels, and so on and so forth. If somebody can explain that to a person in the simplest way possible, then it's already an edge in communicating. And I like the last part that you said na you have to align yourself with the vision of your clients. Kasi there should be like a unity of purpose when you do things. Okay. So thank you for telling us about that, Julian. And guys, to everyone, this is an AMA session, so we're gonna answer your questions in a little while. Okay, I'm just gonna ask a couple of more questions from Julian to make things known to all of us. Pero shout out to Miguel Alino Lopez, Paul Valeriano, Kirby Lindayag, and Jair Nick. Okay, I'll write down your questions. We're gonna ask them later. Okay, so Julian, here's another question. Kasi like you know how online you get to have a lot of materials to study and learn from. Now it's a good thing kasi like yay, you have an overabundance of materials that you can choose from. That also is a problem itself. Like where do you begin? Ganon. Kasi, like, may influencer na magsasabi, all you have to do is to download my online course for free. All you have to do is download this Facebook ads cheat sheet. Yung mga ganong bagay. So, for us who are not in the know, we don't know where to begin. Kasi sa sobrang dami, hindi kami makapili kung saan yung tama. So, if we're gonna ask you right now, where will we begin when we are learning Facebook ads? Kasi you started out with yourself. Okay, I know you're going to tell about your courses and all that, but where else can they start beginning to learn Facebook ads?
So actually, my answer to this is different from how I would answer it probably a couple of years ago. Yeah, there is an overabundance of free content out there, and that's how I learned them, free content. But actually, for me, my belief now really is if you want to, even if you're just getting started, the best way to actually get started is to find a mentor. No, not necessarily. So
Okay.
I'm not saying it should be me, for example. It could be anyone. There's a lot of people sharing what I do as well, and this applies to anything you're wanting to learn. I learned this. I started learning this and embracing this mga last year now. And again, this is with more with anything, no, with actually with life, with business, with Facebook ads. Even I have mentors now. That's the fastest kasi when I did consume free content, syempre it's all read, find an opportunity to apply it,
Uh,
ganyan. That's how I learned. Um, and then pag may courses, when I got enough money, I paid for courses that helped. No, but I realized that if you really want fast learning, have a mentor and a community of people that supports you. Kasi you get to ask. I think that's the fastest way for me to learn. Of course, iba-iba naman tayo. Pero for me, it's asking. No, that's why we
mm,
have a program. Ang lagi ko sinasabi sa mga bago enroll sa program is go to the group and ask your question. Don't go to the page where the courses are down. Try to learn everything and then ask your question. No, go to ask your question first because that's how you learn the fastest. Um, that's what I would recommend. No? It doesn't have to be a paid course or a paid mentor. It's just really asking, what do you think I should do with regards to this? And then if you get a response, try to implement that and then see for yourself if it's working or if it's not. And then if you feel, for example, sabihin ko sa'yo na you need to install the pixel or do a custom audience. And then if that is what you do not know, then you go ahead and learn that rather than learn something, read about something, and then asking. For me, it's asking first, and then based on the answer, you learn how to implement that. Parang ano. That's how I would recommend you get started.
okay. I really like the way that you put it kasi what you're trying to have people do is to learn through experience. So the number one thing that you said was like you have to look for a mentor kasi the mentor will really cut through the learning curve and you have to ask kasi when you ask something you will actually get real-time advice and advice that has been proven, right? So
Yes.
and then you want people to actually do something kasi like it's so easy to go over online and then read content and like you have it in your mind. It's like, oh, I know how to do this, but you do know how to do this, but the problem is you haven't implemented it. So it just is in the mind. Hindi talaga gumagana at all unless you actually do it.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
have one
So
more
I
point.
agree with you on that. Mhm.
I have one important regards to asking because I see this a lot, and this is one of my pet peeves actually. When
Uh,
someone would go to a group, maybe a paid group or a free Facebook group, and then someone would ask what people would call a stupid question. No, na parang, for
oh
example,
yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah.
this I saw
Mhm.
this group before, parang talagang na-take off ako. Parang it was an e-commerce group, and then ang post was something like, paano po ba kumita dito? Na parang, or ano po ba ang Facebook
Uh-huh.
ads? And then the first few comments were like laughing na parang, seryoso ba to? Ganon, ganon. Like for
Oh,
me, I'm super not a fan of that kasi the person is asking it. The person got the courage to actually ask. And for me,
yeah, yeah.
um, when we see questions like that, na the instinct is eh parang common sense or
Put to bring them
stupid
down.
question naman ito, that only means that you or me who is thinking that stupid question niya, that only means that we are in a very very good position to help that person out. Kasi kaya siya naging stupid question is because gets natin yung
We
sagot dun
already
sa
knew.
question. So rather than putting that person on, you're actually the best person to help this particular person out. No? So like for me in particular, those
Mhm.
na who are going to maybe join SMA, the SMA groups or the social media All Stars group, please feel free to ask questions kasi that's how we learn. That's how we learn. Yun
True.
lang. Rant.
That is true. Yes, and I agree with that. I mean, yeah, dumating na tayo sa punto na like, oh my God, that person is asking that. I mean, that is such a common question, and it sounds stupid on the outset, but we need to actually turn around our mindset on that. Kasi like, if we are considered experts at what we do, we can actually provide value. And like when we answer these questions, when we answer these quote unquote stupid questions, they see us as the experts that can help. And who knows, in one way or another, that can also lead us to getting hired by a business or another client, right? So
Yep.
I don't know. I think. some people have experienced that, and you might have experienced that as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's another question. And again, guys, this is also an AMA question. So I'm just asking Julian here his background, the things that he learns, and so on. We would love to hear your questions because Julian would also answer them as much as he can. Having more than 4 years of experience as an FB ad strategist and expert, wow, you are really privileged to learn from him. So ask away. Don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions because Julian is here to answer them. Okay. So here's my next question for you, Julian. So we know that pagdating sa Facebook ads, hindi lang yan yung nagbo-boost ka ng post o nagagawa ka ng Facebook ads na something. You have to involve a strategy. There are a lot of moving parts in it. So for you, what is the most challenging thing that you do in your work as a FB ad strategist?
Hmm. Most challenging, um, but at the same time most rewarding, um, is actually the part that the tendency is no one, as a lot of people don't like to do, and that's the research. That's the groundwork. Um,
Oh,
Kasi
yes.
what's sexy about Facebook ads is actually seeing the numbers, seeing how you spend $1,000 and get $20,000 in return. That's the sexy part. But really, the groundwork is what sets you up for that. Now, the groundwork being setting up the campaigns, really honing in on each and every creative, making sure that the creatives do its job, doing the research for copy, doing checking the reviews, checking Facebook groups, and really mining all that data for copy. That's the groundwork that tends to be feedback tends to be boring, but if you've been doing this as long as I have, it gets to be not so boring. Therefore, it gets to be fun. Get to be fun naman. But yeah, usually that's one of the challenges. And for me, early on, what one of the other challenges was really dealing with failure, dealing with failed campaigns. Because the truth is, even in our level now, we still have we would still launch campaigns that don't work. No? But siguro I'm in a better space now where I know that they are not necessarily failed campaigns. It's just an opportunity for us to know what doesn't work. Kasi what we've learned is it's really two parts when you run a campaign. Now, one would be research, but it's also seeing the results. No? And that's what I love about Facebook ads. You can do all the research and then you run them and then you see the results. Is it working or is it not? Para we do more of what's working and we stop those that aren't working. Many times na nangyari yung we would write three different ad copies. No, we would write ad copy number one, which is the best one we've written. Ito yung favorite ko. Okay, to. We just write the two others for the sake of having variations. No, but yung number one, that's why I put my heart and soul into it. And then when we run them as ads, it's ad number two or ad number three that converts the best. No?
Works.
And I wouldn't argue with results. Diba? It's working na. It's providing results, providing leads, providing customers. Then we go with that. And from the start, it was really tough to deal na parang you work so hard on the targeting, on the creative, and it's not working. But only to realize that, okay, it's a result of the campaign. So what now? What do we choose to do now? And one of my favorite analogies to this, which is I think what allowed us to really continue moving forward despite campaigns that don't work, no, is the fact that si Michael Jordan, best basketball player of all time, greatest of all time, his career average on field goal percentage is 49.7%. What does that mean? That means that he made more misses than shots that he made, but still he's the greatest of all time. Um, and anong connection niya, di ba? Parang I guess I learned that our failed campaigns don't necessarily have to define us or how effective we are. It's really just part of the process. So yeah, in terms of before, that was the challenge. Now it's really doing the groundwork. Pero it's all good naman.
Wow, I think I agree with you on that. Kasi like, people see the glamorous side of things. Like, uy, gumamit siya ng FB ads. Ang rami
Yeah.
niyang kinita sa lahat ng bagay. But people do not see the blood, sweat, toil, and tears that you have to do. Kailangan mo mag-market research, kailangan mong gumawa ng ad copy, kailangan mong gumawa ng creatives and all of that. Kailangan mong gawin ang lahat ng bagay yun before actually putting all of these things. And you're also telling us na you are getting failures, kumbaga, but you're not calling it failures, but I think the term that you're looking for is learning experiences. Kasi
Yeah.
you get to refine your process and you get to see what works and what doesn't. Ganon. And in the long run,
Yes.
you're not defined by these things, but by what you actually have produced really well. Ganon. So, they see you through your successes. Gaya yung example mo na kay Michael Jordan, he's a GOAT, greatest of all time,
Yeah.
because he
Here's
has
the
done
boss
really
hat.
well despite his failures. Okay, so guys, again,
Yep.
if you have any questions for Julian, Julian is here to answer them. This is an AMA session from an FB ad strategist and expert. Now, I'm gonna ask you one last question, Julian, because right now, because of this
Sure.
enhanced na ba sa inyo or extreme enhanced? Or may other level pa
Enhance lang.
dyan?
Wala pang
Enhanced,
extreme.
okay, wala pang extreme. So you can still go out to grocery and stuff, right?
Yeah, nasa labas lang naman ng bahay yung
Siguro.
grocery.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. All right. So, we all know that right now, a lot of experts are doing webinars online, uh, Facebook lives like this, and you Julian, you're supposed to do trainings as well, like in-house or group trainings as well. So I know that you have your
Mhm.
own training. So can you tell us more, how we
Yes.
can get to that training of yours, and how they can also hire you? Because there might be people watching this who would like to be like your clients, so tell us more about that.
Thank you. Yeah, so we have different services and programs for depending on what you want to learn. So we have a coaching program, usually for individuals or freelancers who want to learn this, and for entrepreneurs who want to learn Facebook ads in a really really deep level. We have workshops. One of workshops we were supposed to have one this Saturday, no, before this whole thing happened. So
For
we're going to push through with it online
yes,
this Saturday, yeah, as a form.
yes.
Online, but will still be a live component currently scheduled April 18. No, so all these opportunities to learn from us or work from us, you can message me or check out my page. But I actually take this opportunity to promote one specific thing we're offering. Um, so next week we're launching what we call a Facebook Ads Bootcamp. It's really to help entrepreneurs or freelancers start that one campaign to help them generate leads. Now it has a cost. It's 1,000 pesos, but we're doing this as a fundraiser. All the proceeds from this bootcamp will go to
Oh,
fund PPEs for our health workers, for our frontliners. No, so I highly implore, if
that
you
is
want
wonderful.
to learn and launch that one campaign that will generate you inquiries or generate inquiries for your clients. And there's a coaching component to it, so it's going to be live calls. The full details are on my
Uh-huh.
page, Julian Canita. But basically, yeah, it's 1,000 pesos for an almost 2 months program. You'll be in a group. We'll have live calls once a week. And we're going to show a step-by-step way for you to create a campaign and manage that campaign to generate inquiries and leads for you. And again, it's just for 1,000 pesos, and all proceeds will go to fund buying PPEs for our health workers. So please, if you want to grow your business or client's business, and at the same time, really help out the people who are most vulnerable and who really need help, who need our help at this time. No? Please join us. No, it's just 1,000 pesos. You can donate more than that if you want. Please share it with your friends. It's going to help a lot of people. So please join us.
Wow, 1,000 pesos for a 2-month long program. That's actually a steal, guys. So if you want to learn, if you want to learn how to do FB ads effectively to gain leads, please, you're not only helping yourselves, you're actually helping our medical professionals, frontliners. Kasi, wow, this is actually for a good cause. So guys, 1,000 pesos lang. So you should really take this in. Thank you so much for
Yes,
that,
please.
Julian. And I think there are some people who are interested here. Now this time,
Yay.
thank you for answering my questions. This time there are people here who would like to know some things about you or how to do FB ads. So
Yeah.
let me ask the first question by Miguel Alino Lopez. He's asking, like, for new entrepreneurs, is it ideal to ultra narrow down the boosting to get customers? Hmm.
Um, okay, depends on what you mean by ultra narrow down. Now, I guess kasi if you're saying ultra narrow down by targeting people who are 30 years old men who are living in Taguig, who likes dogs, who also likes football, um, who also likes I don't know, lamps, and also likes IKEA. Kung ganun ka-specific, I wouldn't recommend it. It has to be broad enough for Facebook to explore, but at the same time, defined enough that it talks about your target market. No? Like for entrepreneurs, for example, you can do entrepreneurship, you can do entrepreneur groups or entrepreneur influencers. Um, so there's that. So it's a good balance. So when you do targeting, there is a gauge there. Na parang if it's too narrow or if it's too broad, I would have it somewhere in the middle. If it's starting to be on the too broad level, I'll try to narrow it down. But if it's in the red level where it's too specific, I would try to widen the audience. So it's a case to case basis. I don't usually give out numbers in terms of the potential reach, kung 100,000 or 1 million, kasi it's a case to case basis. So I would just refer to the gauge. Even if it's just new entrepreneurs, I would have it around that level. So if you check out that gauge, refer to that na lang. So I hope that
I
answers your
see. So
question.
so you have a gauge to find out your sweet spot, and it really depends on the kind of product or service that you are selling. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. All right. So here's another question. Guys, again, don't hesitate to ask questions to Julian. He is here with me until 9 or probably a little over that. So just ask around. Just ask right now about
Yes.
FB ads if you have your burning questions here. So here's another question from Jarnik. So why do you think your strategy didn't work in your business? So I think Jair is asking kung like gumawa ka ng FB ad strategy pero hindi siya nag-work. So what would be like the probable reasons kung bakit hindi siya nag-work?
Why do you think your strategy didn't work in your business? If I'm right, JR, I think you're referring to yung business ko when I started, no, yung listing website. If I'm wrong, follow up question na lang, no. But I think that didn't work kasi I
Uh,
knew na how to use the tools. So I knew how to use Facebook ads, Google ads, but what I didn't know was the marketing principles that would make these tools work. No, I knew that I had the website and I knew that I had a tool to bring this website to people who were potentially interested. But I did not know how the process or the concepts to turn a prospect into a lead or someone interested, to build that engagement, to build that trust for them to actually buy. No, looking back, I think that was what was missing. The tech stuff of it. That's why it's not enough for you to actually. For me, it's not enough for you to learn the technical aspects of Facebook ads or whatever social media platform you'll be marketing to. It's really more than that. The marketing principles behind it that allow you to to have that customer journey, that buyer journey. Yeah, and that applies to any social media platform or any digital marketing tactic, or whether it be email marketing, messenger bots. Really, if you don't have a clear grasp of the your marketing message, the buyer's journey, the tools will just amplify that. But if you have something clear, no, you have a clear process on how to turn leads into customers. These tools, Facebook ads, Google ads, they help you scale that. No? So for me in particular, to answer your question, it was because I did not have that down, the buyer journey down.
Okay, so you're telling me that right now people are looking at Facebook ads as the answer to their questions, but in fact, these are some things that amplify your sales process, but only if you know how
Yes.
sales and marketing works. So I'm
Yes.
guessing that's also going to be part of your training. You would have to teach people some sales and marketing process before actually getting them into the Facebook ads. Kasi yung Facebook ads, it's a tool that will amplify. Am I correct?
Mm-mm. Yes, more than just the sales and marketing of it all, it's really understanding your buyer. Like what we talked about in the research, no, what who is your target market? What motivates them to take action? No, how do you get their attention on Facebook? Kasi like for example, sometimes like for me, dati hindi ko pinansin masyado yung creative. Sabi ko any creative will do. I just need to focus on the targeting and having the right ad copy. No, gagandahan ko yung ad copy ko. But the
Mm.
truth is, kahit sobrang ganda ng ad copy mo, if you don't get the attention of your target market, no one's going to read it. Your target market is going to read it kahit na alam mong sobrang ganda niya. So you really have to to understand that concept of is what gets the person's attention. Diba? So that's where creative comes in. You have a creative that attracts attention, and then they from the creative their eyes go to the copy, and then that's when they decide, do I want to read this? And then that's when they get to read your awesome copy. But if you miss out on that, kasi you don't take into consideration what moves people, which is part of the research, then wala. Kahit na okay ka technically, if there's no clear understanding on that, it's not gonna help.
That's very good. Thank you, Coach Julian. So here's another question from Kirby Lindayag. Kirby is asking, do you recommend for newly created business pages to use the boost instead of ads?
Okay. Thank you, Kirby. No? So that's actually one of the biggest questions that we get. No? What's the difference between boosting and running ads? No? And with boosting kasi, okay, so we'll get a bit technical here. Ah. When you run ads from Ads Manager, part of the process is Facebook will ask you, what is your campaign objective? No? And Facebook asks you that not for fun. It asks you that because it wants to know what results you want for your campaign. Now, for example, do you want engagement? Then Facebook will run your ads to people who are likely to engage with your page. Do you want people to message you? Then select messages as your objective. And then Facebook will run your ads to people who are active on Facebook Messenger. Excuse me. If you want website traffic, then you tell Facebook, I want traffic as your objective. And then Facebook will run your ads to people who are likely to take that action. So this yung campaign objective is very vital to your ad campaign because you're telling Facebook what results you want. No, and we of course we've tested this before na parang same ad, same targeting but different objectives, different din yung results na lumabas. No, so what does this have to do with boosting? When you run an ad, you get to select the ad campaign objective that you actually want. But when you boost your ad from your page, most often than not, it skips the process of asking your ad campaign objective and automatically runs your ad for engagement. No, I'm not saying that that's bad, but when people do that, sometimes they have the intention of i-boost ko to reach more people. But what I really want is people to inquire and message me or people to buy in my e-commerce store. But because you're not telling Facebook that, it will run your ads to these people, you'll be able to reach them. But most of them, if not all, will do the action na sinet up mo, which is engagement. That's why when I tell people na I do Facebook ads, sabi nila, ayan ba yung boosting? Hindi ko na ginagawa yan kasi ang nakuha ko lang is likes, comments, and shares. But what they don't realize is that's because they created a campaign set up to get likes, comments, and shares. But if they wanted inquiries, if they wanted people to buy from them, they should have used a different campaign objective. So to answer your question, I would recommend that you create the ads, and pattern it to the results you want, the results you want to have for your ads. If it's video views, engagement, conversions, traffic, then marami kang makikitang options doon. So that's very important.
Thank you. Thank you for making that very clear, Coach Julian. And guys, again, if you have questions, just ask away. Anna, you're asking about the coaching. You have to follow Julian Canita's page to see yung schedule ng
Yeah,
coaching. I think it's going to be coming up this Saturday. Okay. And we have two more questions here for you, Julian. Number
sure.
4 from Ino Miguel Maog. He's asking, how do you spot a worthy mentor to follow?
For me, so thank you for the question, Inanam. For me, this is what worked for me is, yeah, you follow people, you follow their posts and whatever, and I would go with the person you feel aligned to. No, whether it's values, whether it's personality, not so skill level then of course. But for me, kasi skill level is ano eh, yung skill you'll get to if you're following mentors anyway, they're all skilled when you pick. For me, magkakatalo sa personality. No, not to say that one is better than the other. It's just really sino yung ka-vibes mo. Diba? And again, that's
Hmm.
I don't even know if that's good advice. No, but that's how I would do it. No, like for example, one of my if you're going to ask me sino yung ka-vibes ko na Facebook person around, no, it's Dan Henry. And he's a very polarizing person. Pero that's the kind his demeanor, his how he is, it's kind of aligned to the type of person that I like. So is he the best? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you look at some of the other experts out there, they have more followers, they have more ganyan. Pero ako, as a person, I just feeling ko mas aligned ako sa kanya regardless of his brash personality. And that's what I would recommend to you. No, apart from the skill, it's really being able to connect with that person, someone you're comfortable asking questions. I think going back to that point, no, that's very important. Hindi yung nai-intimidate ka. Kasi he could be someone na sobrang galing, pero nai-intimidate ka sa kanya, that limits you and that does not allow you to ask questions. No, so I would actually go with someone maybe less skilled, pero ka-connect mo. No, and maybe that's someone na mas makakatulong sa'yo. That's just me.
Okay, I think I like the way Julian said it. It's like somebody that you can ask questions and who can provide you answers and who understands you and your goals. Kasi, di ba nga mentor eh, they want you're looking for a mentor that has your best interests at heart.
Yes.
In mind, ganun. So,
Yes.
thank you for asking that question, Ino. Okay, so here's another question for you, Julian. And guys, again, ask away. Don't hesitate to ask questions to Julian.
Yes, please.
We're here to answer your questions, your burning questions when it comes to FB ads. So here's one from Alvin Teston. Alvin is asking, what can you say about ads categories going on in FB ads policy?
All right. Thank you, Alvin. Okay. So for me, I'm actually, I don't know how others would feel about it, but I'm actually a fan of policy.
Uh-huh.
The reason one being it supports good marketing. It
Mm.
it like for example, maybe you would know this Bo as a copywriter na parang there are some
Uh-huh.
principles na really effective when it comes to copy. No, like parang
True.
ano ba, mga scarcity or mga claims na can be real, can be not. So these are all, there are
Uh,
copywriting tips that are really effective. But the truth is, not the truth, pero sometimes hindi siya gusto ni Facebook. So minsan
oh.
that's why some copywriters, some hardcore copywriters na magaling talaga sa craft nila, with email, with sales page, they're not a fan of doing copy for Facebook because of all the rules around it. No, but for me, number
Oh.
one, it's their platform. It's their platform, so we have to
Mhm.
play by
True.
their rules, diba? And number two, and I truly believe this, number two, um, the policy protects the end user. The policy protects the end user. So like for example, with claims, no, na parang you can't say na this person has lost this amount of weight because of my program, even if it's true. No, it will fall under misleading claims, even if it's true. Misleading claim siya because Facebook does not want to be responsible for people maybe spending their money, kasi hindi pala totoo or whatever, for whatever reason. No, so rule nila yan. And for me, it protects the end user. It protects the Facebook user. Kasi kung ma-offend si Facebook user with all the ads na does not provide a good human experience or a good experience on the platform, the Facebook users will just, ayoko na mag-Facebook. And pag walang Facebook user, what's the sense of advertising? There's no one to advertise to. Diba? So for me, I'm a fan. Sometimes they can be limiting, but siguro as an advertiser, I've adopted na lang na parang, will you be limited and complain by this particular policy that you can't do this, or will you find a way to work around it?
To work it out. Yeah.
Diba? So parang, and we chose the latter. We continuously choose the latter kasi we pay respect to the platform then that allows us to actually do this. No? Yeah, so I'm actually a fan of policy. Alam ko marami siyang policy, but I think at the very core of it, and I have a video on this, like 5-minute video on the summary of all the policies. No? And it's at the end of the day, it's just do you provide a good user experience to the Facebook user? Diba? If not, then probably you're going to get disabled. Are you offending them? Are you distracting them with lights or violent imagery that's not allowed? That provides a bad human experience. For example, may picture din bawal yung may baril na nakatutok sa camera. Can you imagine someone waking up, checking their Facebook, tapos makita sila ng ad of a gun being pointed at them, or an ad calling them fat, or an ad calling them ugly? Diba? Those are against policy. Kasi you can imagine, makita ko ng ad, are you fat? Or do you have diabetes? Pangit na mukha mo, parang ganon. And I would, diba? Imagine how I would feel pag ganon. So that's why Facebook limits those. So ako, I'm a fan of Facebook policy. I know it's there for a reason. And it protects not only the user, it protects you as an advertiser. It protects you as an advertiser para you don't get into bad graces of the customers then.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you on that. Kasi as a copywriter, one of the people that we look up to, there's this guy. I think you're familiar with him. His name is Gary Halbert, and nakulong siya actually. Kasi yung tinulungan niya na. Yeah. He wrote letters to his son, Bond Halbert. He wrote the Boron letters to his son while in prison. Kasi very effective yung sinulat niyang campaign, pero yung nag-hire sa kanya, they cannot fulfill. And since he was the guy who was writing the ad, he was the one who was incarcerated. Ganon. So we don't want that to happen to us. So that is right. So like you're right na you can work on the limits itself. Because diba, there's this paradox na limits can actually free you. So we can work up on that. And I think, Julian, since you have your coaching and stuff,
yes.
I think one of the things that you're probably going to do is to teach how to do FB ad copywriting in your program, or you're actually making a program on that, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so here's another question from Alvin. Okay, so sir, one more thing. How do you deal with it mostly if you're advertising real estate niche?
Yeah. So we actually do have real estate clients now, and again, we look at how the client, right, the broker, how they're actually generating their leads now, and what conversations their target market is going through, and then we apply that with Facebook ads. For example, one particular target yung isang broker, they're looking for people who are in the property investment space, no? And then I ask them, how do you do your prospecting? Ganyan. They look for people who are in the market na. who in the market, they're property investors. So the conversation is different. So we learn what that conversation is. Now, we ask them, what do you talk about? What moves them to buy? What moves them to schedule a meeting with you? And then we translate that to Facebook ads. That's completely different as compared to a sales agent trying to sell a pre-selling condo to people who parang hindi pa masyadong interested bumili, but during the conversation they get to share why they should buy now, no? So that's the completely different conversation, completely different target market, but still within the real estate niche. So what we would do talaga with real estate or with any particular niche is really understanding who the target market is, what are their buying motivators, and what moves them to take the next step, whether it's to call, book a meeting with you, and eventually buy. And then we translate that, again, secondary na yung platform, which is Facebook, we translate that process into Facebook. We figure out a way to do that into Facebook rather than the opposite. Rather than mag-Facebook ads muna tayo and then let's develop the processes after. Now, for real estate in particular, Alvin, if you're dealing with real estate clients, just a fun fact, if for those that don't know, Facebook gets a bit sensitive sa real estate niche. No, to the point now when you're working with real estate campaigns, sometimes automatic na disapprove yung campaigns. But that doesn't mean na disapprove yung ads mo. It means it's a precautionary measure of Facebook to ask you to remind you that there's certain policies around real estate ads. No? So what is this policy? So there's a policy na you're not allowed to discriminate. And that seems kind of obvious. Hindi ba parang, of course you're not allowed to discriminate. That's illegal. But back in 2016, the reason why there's this rule is because back in 2016, they found na US brokers in the US, what they were doing was they were targeting specific neighborhoods, mga high-end neighborhoods. But they were excluding, kasi sa Facebook you can exclude people, they were excluding minorities. No, so let's say target Beverly Hills, but excluding African Americans, excluding Asian Americans, and that's illegal. It's illegal for you to exclude, advertise, not just in Facebook. It's a law. It's racist. It's discriminatory. That's a law. Na pag real estate ka, pag job opportunity ka, you can't. You're not allowed to exclude your advertising based on race or whatever. No, so to counter that, yun yung ginawa ni Facebook ngayon na pag real estate ka, ma-disapprove siya. But it's only Facebook's way of saying, "Oh, Julian, wait lang. I want to make sure that you know that we have a rule about discrimination. Please certify that you understand this para may button din, certify compliance. Please understand that, please let us know that you understand na may rule na to and that you're not going against this rule." And all you have to do is click on certify compliance, tapos it will go through manual review. And kung wala ka naman ginagawa any discriminatory thing, approve naman siya. So yun lang, that's just an extra tidbit for real estate campaigns.
Wow, thank you so much for those insights, Julian. All right, guys, we're gonna have room for one more question. Pero ako may gusto akong tanong kay Sir Julian. Actually, I should have asked this to you earlier. So, what's your day like as? Kasi I'm guessing you work home-based, diba? For the most part. So,
yes.
What's your day like working from home as an FB ad strategist? So, like, what do you do in the morning? How do you spend time with your family? When do you do work? So on and so forth. Like recreation mo. What do you do during those days? Ganon. Kasi like we want to give them a glimpse of what you do. And guys, if you have questions, just ask. Okay? So yeah, go ahead.
Yes, please ask. All right. So I don't know if you're expecting me to say a routine, but the answer is I don't have a routine. No? So I have a list of things to do, but sometimes they get done in the morning, sometimes they get done in the afternoon. I actually have been trying to do a routine, but well, number one, I wake up in different times at night. Tapos prior to this lockdown, meron akong other responsibilities outside. No? So iba-iba din schedule. No? So I don't actually have routines, but in general, what I do is, well, number one, work from here at home, look for bits and pieces and pockets of time to do work, which is actually not, I'm not a go-to person when it comes to productivity. No, I know some people, they have this block set of time, mag-work ako ng gantong time, I have calls during this time.
Yeah.
And it's really, okay, may time just get things done. No? Apart from that, of course, spending time with the family. Most of the time, it's really pag dinner time onwards. It's really family time as much as possible. And talagang I make sure of that. Na parang at around 6 o'clock, I look at my pending list of things to do. Kapag sobrang dami pa, those get rolled over to the next day na rather than me na magpupuyat. No? And as much as possible, I try to find time to things that I do want to do then apart from work. And of course, apart from time with my family, like reading. Um, I do a lot of reading thanks to thanks to Jim Quick's reading course. No, I actually improved my reading speed because of that. So sobrang
Ooh,
okay na.
wow, gym quick guys.
Actually naka-record pa yung words per minute ko. Is day 1 ko was 150 words per minute. Day 10 or 11 ko was 350 words per minute. So
Nice.
sobrang effective and nagaling. Dapat may affiliate link ako pero wala akong affiliate link. I do meditation as well. I do meditation, either guided meditation or Reiki meditation. I do exercise as well as much as possible. So again, a quick hack for people wanting to do a lot of things. No, what I've been doing recently, prior to this lockdown, was I read while I'm on the yung bike machine. Ayan. So
Oh.
making the most out of time. I actually got a lot read then no time na yan. No, so yeah, I actually don't have a
See.
routine. Meron akong list ng things to do today. Ganyan. But
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of productivity, but I can say naman naging productive ako.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is you have a list of things to do, you just do it as long as you accomplish it.
Yes.
And since you're a family man with one kid and going on to have another
Yes.
child, wow, congratulations in advance, Coach
Thank
Julian,
you.
on having a second kid.
Thank you.
we
Thank you.
we actually hope that we get to meet you and your family in person. So this is your
Yes.
focus. And yeah, working as a freelancer, you and I know that the flexibility of time
Yes.
that we do in our industry. So I think nobody's asking any more questions. So guys, just a reminder for our viewers, you can join Julian Canita's 2-month mentorship program on FB ads worth only 1,000 pesos. Usually these kinds of programs, I will tell you ha, one reason kaya ang raming hindi nagaganyan, they just go online, is because it's really expensive. Let me tell you. And Julian is only giving it for 1,000 for you guys. And wait, there's more. You're actually helping our frontliners, our medical professionals have more safety in helping other people. Kasi proceeds will be
Yes.
donated to them getting more PPEs. Okay. Oh yeah. And before we
Yes.
go, let me again tell you that uh, Social Media Academy, the course is open for free until the 14th
Yes.
of April. So
April.
actually, my course dun si Julian, if you want to see how really good he
Yep.
is, you get it on that social media academy course because it's really good, I tell you.
Yes.
Ganun. And sa akin medyo I've gone through looking at that course, it made me understand easier what Facebook ads is. So let me tell you, this is something that you should have. So thank you very much for having this time with us, Julian. And thank you for watching us, guys. We hope to see you again on our next SMA show. Have a wonderful evening,
Thank you.
guys. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach Julian. God
Thank
bless
you,
you. Keep
Dan.
safe.
Thank you.